You're tuning in to 15-minute bulletin of VNEWS News Agency. I'm bringing you the new headlines as usual.
State President Luong Quang's activities during his official visit to Chile. Eradication of dilapidated houses must create movement. And later on, Ho Chi Minh City attracts tourists to traditional markets.
State President Luong Quang is on an official visit to Chile. The visit is made at the invitation of Chilean President Gabriel Boric Font.
State President Luong Quang had a meeting with President of the Communist Party of Chile Lautaro Carmona in Santiago on November 10th, local time, as part of his ongoing official visit to Chile. Chile is currently Vietnam's leading export market in Latin America. While Vietnam is Chile's top trade partner in ASEAN, he noted, adding that the Communist Party of Vietnam highly values and wishes to promote cooperation with ruling and progressive, as well as political parties with traditional friendship, including the Communist Party of Chile. For his part, Carmona said that attendees at the meeting represented different generations, yet shared a common admiration for Vietnam's people and culture. Many had once marched for peace in solidarity with Vietnam's cause, he said. State President Luong Quang received President of the Socialist Party of Chile Polina Vodanovic in Santiago on November 10th, local time. Quang emphasized that the two sides need to continue to support, encourage and create conditions to promote the implementation of bilateral cooperation mechanisms, as well as agreements and action plans between the two countries, focus on enhancing collaboration in areas where both sides have needs and potential such as security defense, science technology, green development, digital transformation, and renewable energy to create motivation for their trade and investment. For her part, President of the Socialist Party of Chile Vodanovic expressed her pleasure to welcome President Quang and the high-ranking Vietnamese delegation, underlining that the visit is of important significance in promoting relations between the two countries and between the two parties in particular. The same day, State President Luong Quang received a delegation from the Chile-Vietnam Cultural Institute led by President Patricia Abarzua. Quang said Vietnam will never forget the support and solidarity of the Chilean people for the just struggle of the Vietnamese people. Abarzua, for her part, affirmed that she will continue to work with the Institute's members to promote solidarity activities and serve as a bridge to increase the Chilean people's understanding on the land and people of Vietnam, especially national construction and development of Vietnam today. State President Luong Quang and a high-ranking delegation of Vietnam on November 10th morning, local time, visited and laid a wreath at the statue of President Ho Chi Minh in a park named after the late leader in Santiago. Quang expressed his heartfelt gratitude to the people of Chile, particularly Cerro Navia residents, for preserving the Ho Chi Minh Park as a symbol of the special solidarity, friendship and cooperation between the two countries. He highlighted that President Ho Chi Minh's statue placed within the park stands as a testament to the deep affection of the Chilean people towards the Vietnamese late leader.
Coming up now, we'll have a report on the activities of Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính.
On November 10th, in Hanoi, Prime Minister Chuyên chaired the first meeting of the Central Steering Committee for the Eradication of Temporary and Dilapidated Houses nationwide. The leader, who is also head of the steering committee, said that this is an all-people and comprehensive program of the entire political system. It aims to create a movement, trend, and festival to promote the achievement of goals, with all hearts and virtues for revolution contributors, poor households, and households affected by natural disasters, he added. Prime Minister Chuyên agreed to set up steering committees for the eradication of temporary and dilapidated houses at the provincial, district and commune levels. At present, the whole country still has about 315,000 households with housing difficulties, of which about 106,000 households have meritorious services to the revolution, 46,000 households belong to the national target programs, and 153,000 other poor and near-poor households. The government has set the goal of striving to complete the elimination of such houses nationwide in 2025, 5 years earlier than the initial target.
Now let's take a look at the most prominent events of the week from November 4th to 10th.
State President Luong Quang on November 8th held phone talks with Thongloun Sisoulith, General Secretary of the Lao People's Revolutionary Party and President of Laos. The Lao leader extended his congratulations to Quang on his election as the state president of Vietnam. President Quang affirmed that in his new role, he would continue to closely work with the Lao leader and other high-ranking Lao leaders to further nurture the great relations. During the talks, the two leaders pledged to continue paying attention to deploying the outcomes of reached agreements and tackling challenges in key projects to ensure more sustainable and effective bilateral economic collaboration.
Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh made a working visit to China from November 5th to 8th to attend the 8th Greater Mekong Subregion Summit. His trip also includes participation in the 10th Ayawadi Chao Phraya Mekong Economic Cooperation Strategy Summit and the 11th Cambodia Laos Myanmar Vietnam Cooperation Summit and working sessions. These are the first in-person high-level activities of these mechanisms since 2018. Vietnam's active and proactive participation in these mechanisms reflects its commitment to contributing to the common interests of the region, improving sub-regional cooperation effectiveness, and effectively pooling external resources for national development. The trip underscores Vietnam's message of valuing and contributing to the promotion of the mechanisms, as well as overall Mekong sub-regional cooperation, creating a breakthrough in a new phase of development. At the same time, it aims to continue strengthening and boosting friendly neighborliness and the comprehensive strategic cooperative partnership between the two countries and the Vietnam-China community with a shared future that carries strategic significance.
Developing relations with China is a consistent policy, an objective requirement, a strategic choice, and a top priority in Vietnam's foreign policy. Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh told Chinese Premier Li Qiang at their talks in Kunming City in China's Yunnan province on November 7. It took place on the occasion of the Vietnamese government leaders' attendance at the 8th Greater Mekong Subregion GMS Summit. The host and guests highlighted remarkable achievements of each party and country, especially in socio-economic development, along with the marked strides in the friendly relations and mutually beneficial cooperation. Premier Li valued Chin's visit and confirmed China's commitment to advancing strategic exchanges and practical cooperation with Vietnam. He pledged China's support for Vietnamese goods, transport connectivity, stable regional supply chains, and Vietnam's hosting of APEC 2027.
Standard Chart has lifted its forecast for Vietnam's 2024 GDP growth to 6.8% from the previous 6%, reflecting the stronger than expected expansion in the third quarter of this year. In its recent report, the bank's economist said Vietnam's economic growth momentum has been relatively strong, with improvement recorded in multiple sectors, such as imports-exports, retail sales, real estate, tourism, construction, and manufacturing. Trade recovery and increased business activities and foreign investment will be the main boosters for 2025 and beyond, they added.
Over 42% of surveyed enterprises in the processing manufacturing sector expect that their business performance in the fourth quarter of this year will be better than the third quarter.
This is a result of a recent survey conducted by the General Statistics Office, with the participation of 30,587 enterprises nationwide. The survey also shows that 40.4% of the respondents said their business will remain stable, and 17.4% of the firms foresaw more difficulties. Indicators such as new orders, employment and production outputs are also forecast to grow in the fourth quarter. Specifically, production outputs are expected to increase to 25.4% from the growth of 14.8% in the third quarter, indicating a strong recovery for the sector. Businesses are also optimistic about the possibility of increasing new orders, with an expected average increase of 24.3%. Businesses with foreign direct investment are forecast to achieve the most positive results, with the highest expected increase in production volume and new orders, according to the survey.
The agricultural, forestry, and fishery trade surplus reached $15.2 billion in the first 10 months, up 62% compared to the same period last year, the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development has reported.
The sector's total export revenue amounted to $51.7 billion, an annual increase of 20%. Of the sum, agricultural exports contributed the most with $27.4 billion, up 26% year-on-year. Livestock products earned $424 million, a 2.7% rise. Fishery and forestry export turnovers grew by 12% and 20%. To stand at $8.3 billion and $4 billion, respectively, and salt exports brought in $4.6 million, a slight decline of 0.2%. The U.S. remained Vietnam's largest market, occupying a 22% share, followed closely by China and Japan. Currently, 6 agricultural goods maintain trade surpluses exceeding $1 billion. They are wood and woodwork products, fruits and vegetables, coffee, rice, shrimp, and raw fish.
To achieve a high-income status by 2045, Vietnam needs to accelerate productivity growth as the workforce contribution to growth is expected to decline and later turn negative because of the country's population aging.
Regulatory reform is critical to Vietnam's journey towards higher productivity and economic prosperity. An expert from World Bank said at the recent launch of the report, improving business regulations to support productivity growth in Vietnam, jointly conducted by the WB Group and the Government Office. A clear, predictable, and effective regulatory framework is essential to foster a dynamic business environment, attract investment, and promote efficient resource allocation. Regulatory reform helps reduce costs and risks for businesses. The saved resources can be used to invest more, apply technology, improve management, leading to increased productivity in companies. According to the WB's governance indicators, Vietnam's regulatory quality has improved significantly over the past 2 decades. So far, Vietnam has removed over 3,000 business regulations. Ministries and agencies continue to propose, simplifying nearly 1,200 regulations that are included in 32 laws and over 170 legal documents.
Ho Chi Minh City has recently rolled out a plan to develop and manage local markets. The goal is to build a network of modern markets that preserve the city's rich cultural heritage, turning them into vibrant shopping and sightseeing spots for visitors.
The new plan aims to create a network of modern markets throughout Ho Chi Minh City, while preserving the city's cultural identity and traditional architectural charm. It encourages commercial activities at these markets to align with the needs of local tourism, helping to boost their appeal as shopping destinations for visitors, particularly international tourists. The Ho Chi Minh City People's Committee has also directed various departments and local authorities to review and develop policies that promote night markets, community markets, and those with historical, culture, or architectural value.
That's also wrapped up our daily bulletin. Thank you for tuning in, and goodbye for now.